Hello everyone, my name is Jason. Welcome back to this channel about magic. And today we're moving on to Season 1, Episode 2 of Penn and Teller's Fool Us. In this video, we're taking a look at a magician named Jon Allen, who Wikipedia identifies as street magician, British. And that should come as no surprise to us because Season 1 of Fool Us was filmed in England. They have predominantly English magicians performing. One thing I noticed immediately about Episode 2 is that in the first 5 minutes, they rehash the whole purpose of the show again. And that's not really something you see on the latest seasons of Fool Us. Maybe it's just because they had the pilot episode, and this is the first non-pilot episode. I don't know. We'll see as we progress through the episodes. And by the way, make sure to smash subscribe if you want to follow along with me and see my reaction to all of these magicians. Oh, and one more thing I thought was cool about this episode is that it shows the two magicians who won on Episode 1. They have a segment where they show them in Las Vegas getting to perform with Penn and Teller, kind of their whole victory lap. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was cool to see. And again, something you don't see in the latest incarnations of Fool Us seasons. So anyways, enough meta talk. Let's go ahead and jump into the reaction.
It's time now to meet our next performer. Jon Allen.
My name's Jon Allen. I'm a professional magician and creator of magical effects. The style of magic I do is close-up magic mainly. I always try to do magic with everyday objects and things that people can relate to. The trick I'm going to be doing tonight is very dangerous. I don't think anyone's died yet from doing it, but it has caused a lot of injuries, and hopefully I won't be added to that list. I'd say this trick works 99 times out of 100. To date, I've probably done it 98 times. Tonight, it's probably going to be 50-50. If I look nervous, it's because I really, really am.
This is great how they're really psyching it up to be so dangerous. By the way, did you notice that magic effect he performed at the beginning where he made the sunglasses appear on his face? I know this was filmed in 2011, and that's interesting because in around 2014, I think there was an effect released on Illusionist by Tobias Dostal called Stay Cool, where essentially you're making the sunglasses appear out of nowhere. It's just kind of a quick, fun, visual magic thing. And when that effect came out on Illusionist, it was the first time I had seen it. And now I understand that maybe almost the same kind of thing existed in 2011. And now I'm curious, did Tobias know about this earlier effect when he created his effect? Or maybe they're totally different methods and it's just something different? It just has me thinking. Anyways, if you know anything about this, feel free to leave a comment below. Proceeding.
Sort of reactions I get when I perform this. I've had people screaming, people just not wanting to look, and some people wondering if I'm actually a sane human being.
Nice sound effects.
Now, the trick you are about to see is definitely risky. If it goes well, if it works, our next performer could be going to Vegas. If it goes badly, he will be going to Casualty and then almost straight on to YouTube. Will you please welcome Mr. Jon Allen?
This has got to be the spike effect.
Are we in control of our own fate? Clearly, for me tonight, the answer to that question is no. But are any of us in control of our own fate? Because every single day, we rely on other people for our own safety. Whether it's other drivers on the road, the chef who cooks our food in the restaurant, or even the person who secured the studio lights to the ceiling above your heads. So let me explain what I have here. Inside the first 3 bags, I have a block of wood. Now, the reason for the block of wood will become apparent in a few moments. In the 4th bag, there is another block of wood, but as you can see, I've drilled a hole through it. The reason for that is this: a solid 6-inch stainless steel spike. Technically, it's a nail, but I do like alliteration. Now, I need someone to verify that this is, in fact, sharp. So, the lady just on the end there, your name is? Sophia. Can you come up and join me, please? Give her a round of applause. Thank you for coming to help. Thank you. Sophia, could you just slam your... Actually, don't slam your hand down. That would be quite silly. Could you just tap the palm of your hand just on there very gently? Is that sharp? Yeah? Good. Now, the nail goes into the bag. Yeah? Happy?
Yeah.
Good. Now, I need to mix up the bags so that nobody knows where the nail is. But so that you don't know, I have this screen. Now, Sophia, could you just turn around so that you can't see either? That's fine. Now, I'm just going to mix up the bags so that none of you know where the nail is. But I know what you're thinking.
I was thinking at first that he could be doing anything back there if he puts up this gigantic screen. He could even take one of the bags below the table and switch it with another one. But then they show this camera angle up above and you actually see he's just moving them around. But from Penn and Teller's point of view, they don't get to see that. I mean, they're just sitting there in the chairs looking straight on. Anyway, it just strikes me as suspicious to have this gigantic screen and be able to do something with no one watching. Maybe it's significant, or maybe it's just a red herring. Proceeding.
I don't expect that to fool you. Well, that's why I'm going to have Sophia mix up the bags as well. Sophia, can you just turn around? And can you just mix up the bags for me, just a few times, and just leave them in a straight line? And now you can see why I have the extra blocks. Otherwise, it's quite easy to see which are the empty bags. Have you done that?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Great. Let's take this away. So, tonight I'm going to put my safety into the hands of somebody else. You. It's time to go serious because there are videos online of people doing this type of effect and getting it wrong and badly injuring themselves. And because of that, I have to say a couple of things. First of all, check out the videos because some of them are quite funny. But also...
I saw a video of a volunteer, the woman getting her hand injured. It was quite terrible. I recommend that you don't search for it. Back to his act.
Please do not try this at home. And for legal reasons, I have to say in front of everybody here, if this goes wrong and I end up getting injured, the fault lies entirely with Sophia. Sophia, I'm going to pass my hand over each bag. When you get a sense or a feeling that my hand is over a safe bag, that's one, well, without the nail in, I'd like you just to say, stop.
Stop.
This one here, you sure? Okay. Suddenly this seems like a really stupid thing to do. One down. Literally one down. All right. Two more to go. Sophia, the same thing. When you think my hand is over a safe bag, just say stop.
Stop.
Again, this one. Okay. Maybe there are times when you are in control of your own fate, and maybe tonight is just such a moment.
By the way, I like when she reacted to him slamming his hand down, she goes. Second thing I'm noticing and thinking about now is that when he's moving his hand past that middle bag, it seems like he doesn't stay there very long. Like he's spending more time with his hand over the outer bag, so maybe he's trying to avoid the middle one? I don't know. Proceeding.
For you, Sophia. Could you take maybe 2 steps to your right? Are you left or right-handed?
Right.
That's a shame. Okay. Okay. You're going with your instinct. All right, just let Just let your arm go loose, okay? We'll do this on the count of, just let it go loose. Expand the muscles, just in case. On the count of 1! Okay. Sophia, I promise that I will do this one.
Okay.
All right. For the final time, when you think my hand is over the safe bag, you get that gut feeling, just say stop.
Stop.
That's it? Okay. How do I do this? Sorry. Yes! Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Jon Allen, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Sophia. Nice.
All right, I'll go ahead and give you my thoughts before we hear what the judges are going to say. Okay, well, my initial thought kind of changed. I noticed he was wearing a ring on his hand that he was holding above the bags, and I thought maybe it's one of those magnetic rings, and maybe he was trying to feel where the spike is. But now I think that's just a red herring and has nothing to do with it. He's probably trying to trip up Penn and Teller, especially because of how close he put his hand to the tops of the bags. He was touching even a few of them. So I think that was really a psychological trick. Now actually my suspicion is because of the way he held his hand when he had only one bag remaining, and he, from the back, he was reaching inside of it, he kind of had his hand kind of like this, which to me indicates he's hiding something inside of here, maybe even like up his sleeve. He could have had the spike. And he opens the bag and sticks his whole arm into there. I think he loaded the spike into the wooden base at the time. What I'm saying is I think that none of the bags had the spike in it. But that's really peculiar because if you remember at the beginning, he shows all 4 blocks inside of the bags and only one of them had a hole in it. The other 3 were like solid blocks of wood. And I think that must have been a further deception. I'm guessing those blocks of wood had something that looked like wood on there to cover the hole and could be pushed down if the spike was just jammed on top of it. Or something kind of like that. And thirdly, I've got to say that I kind of don't personally like these acts where you put the spectator in danger. Sure, maybe she wasn't in danger at all because there were no spikes in the bags, but she didn't know that. You know, she felt like she was in danger. And even if afterwards she finds out that she was safe the whole time, she's probably going to think back later psychologically and think about, well, I thought there was danger at that time and I allowed him to do that with my hand. You know, just kind of that realization that you allowed someone to put you in danger. To me, it just wouldn't give me such a happy feeling afterwards. Anyways, just my opinion about those kind of spectator danger type of things. And number 4, on a positive note, I've got to say that I really enjoyed his jokes. He had me laughing genuinely several times, and I thought he did a great job performing it. He had a great pace. It just kept it interesting, kept it moving the whole time. Obviously, he's experienced and a great performer. It's interesting that on Wikipedia it said he was a street magician. I would love to see some of his street magic acts included in that intro reel. Anyways, without further delay, let's hear what Penn and Teller have to say. That rhymed and it was totally intentional.
John, that was tremendous. Let's go out the front here. That was fabulous. It was nerve-wracking and it was funny at times as well. And poor Sophia almost fainted, I think, at one stage. But that was good. And you're right. I have seen these clips on YouTube. There are incidents of people actually doing this and actually getting impaled. Yep. I mean, for real, I've seen these things. I don't know if they do it the same way as you. I don't know why that happened, how that happened, but has it ever gone wrong or nearly wrong for you?
It hasn't gone wrong yet, but as I said, there's always that inherent risk of something going wrong.
Yeah, yeah. And when you do it, when you had Sophia's hand and you pushed it down there, is there a moment where you think, A, I might have got this wrong, and B, thank God it isn't my hand?
Well, I prefer just to use someone's hand for all of it. That's the easiest way out of it. But no, I do worry for the person, and thank you for doing something you didn't know you were going to do, so I appreciate that. And
can I just ask, have you performed in Vegas before? Have you visited Vegas before? Have you done shows over there?
I'd love to go to Vegas.
You haven't done it yet. OK, well, Penn and Teller still talking. I think, do you think I've given them long enough, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
I think I have. Because what they have to do, of course, is get it right. They can't just give me 3 possibilities. They can't give me 2 possibilities. I'm going to make them settle on one, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Penn! Teller! Hello? How can you just ignore me? OK, Mr. Penn?
First of all, I want to address a moral issue. What you said about the videos on YouTube is absolutely true. There are people that have done tricks similar to this who have been injured doing it, and I want to just state very strongly that magicians that do things that are truly dangerous are immoral. That's wrong to do, and I'm hoping that the producers would never allow this on this show, and I believe they would not. That having been said, we don't think there's any chance involved in this whatsoever. Teller was expecting through the whole trick that you had nails in all 4 bags, and you were going to pull it up from the bottom and hook it up from that. You didn't do that. I believe, and I could be wrong, that I saw after you did the kind of faux praying gesture on the last bag and came down, I believe your right hand went out of sight. And I believe you copped the prop to load it into the final bag.
Is that right or is that wrong? Because if that's right, you didn't fool them.
Yep.
If that's wrong, you're going to Vegas.
Much as I'd love to go to Vegas, that's close enough for me that you got it.
Whoa, well, thank you.
Jon Allen, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, now I'll go ahead and give you my closing thoughts. That's interesting how at the end Teller was gesturing to Penn like that. I guess he was saying like Penn guessed it right and Teller hadn't the right idea. Anyways, that's what I was laughing at the end there. So I guess, according to what Penn said, it's kind of like what I was guessing. And you know, I really wouldn't have thought that except for that one camera angle where I saw his hand going into the bag. To me, that was the only thing that put the idea in my head, because he did have a lot of convincers on there, you know, like 3 of the blocks were solid and didn't seem to have a hole in them. And even the nail, I didn't get a really good look at it, but it seemed like one end had kind of a flat head, so logically it would be hard to imagine how to stick it down through the top, you know? And both times when he showed putting it in and taking it out, he was removing it or putting it in from the bottom. Plus the guise of using that ring on his hand and getting so close to the bags as he's feeling, I thought that this performance was really well thought out. There's a lot of subtleties there, and I think Jon Allen did a great job, and I would be happy to see him perform magic in the future. He seems like a great magician. How did you like Jon's performance? Feel free to leave a comment below. And now, it's time for AESOP'S Fables story time. That's the back of the book, this is the front. And we'll find a story randomly. The Shepherd's Boy and the Wolf. Really hoping that I have not read this one already. I've read so many. I try to usually check them off so I can see if I've done it, but sometimes I forget. Anyways, chapter 46 for those of you following along at home. The Shepherd's Boy and the Wolf. A shepherd's boy was tending his flock near a village and thought it would be great fun to hoax the villagers by pretending that a wolf was attacking the sheep. So he shouted out, "Wolf, wolf!" And when the people came running up, he laughed at them for their pains. This sounds like a very familiar story. This sounds like The Boy Who Cried Wolf. AESOP'S Fables version. Proceeding. He did this more than once, and every time the villagers found that they had been hoaxed, for there was no wolf at all. At last, a wolf really did come, and the boy cried, "Wolf, wolf!" as loud as he could, but the people were so used to hearing him call that they took no notice of his cries for help. And so the wolf had it all his own way, and killed off sheep after sheep at his leisure. I like the way they described it. He had it all his own way, killing sheep at his leisure. And the moral of the storyline is, you cannot believe a liar even when he tells the truth. And that's totally true. I completely am behind this moral. It's easy to understand. If you're telling lies all the time, how is anyone ever going to know when you're telling the truth? It's pretty obvious. Is there any way we can interpret this in a more practical way to our daily lives in this century? I guess if we were to dig a little more deeply, I guess you could say that, you know, some of us feel at times it can be okay to tell little white lies, and you feel like they're innocent, and you can kind of justify doing it in certain situations, but you just gotta say, no, I'm not gonna do it. You just gotta like not lie all the time if you want people to really be able to trust you. Trust is earned, right? So yeah, it seems obvious on the surface, but to actually apply it to our lives, sometimes it's difficult to tell the truth, and the easy way out is telling a lie. You actually have to be strong in order to just face the situation and communicate honestly with other people. I'm just saying that even though we've heard this story many times before, don't downplay its importance. And it may not be a wolf attacking your village, but maybe when you say you want to meet up with a friend, they don't trust you because you've flaked out too many times before. If you say you're gonna be somewhere, then be there. Anyways, I guess I've beaten this dead horse long enough. This horse is definitely dead. I wonder if that's going to be a fable in here, beating the dead horse, if that's going to be inside this book. Maybe we'll find it at some point. Alright guys, thanks very much for watching this far. Make sure to smash like if you liked the video. I hope that you're having a fantabulous week. I know I am. Thanks for asking. And that being said, I'll see you next time.